Straight ahead on WBKB News at 11, the Outdoor Channel's Major League Fishing Series filmed in Alpena came to an end today. Plus, day one is over for the Thunder Bay Classic sled dog race, and the Aplex was full of local business representatives and lots of books for the 2014 Business Expo. We'll have those stories plus your local weather and sports. WBKB News at 11 starts now.
From Rogers City to Tawas City and all points in between, this is Northeast Michigan's award-winning news team. Your source for news, weather, and sports. We are WBKB News at 11.
The Outdoor Channel's Major League Fishing Series featuring Alpena came to an end today after a first-ever 2-hour championship episode. Good evening, I'm Ashley Reed. 24 professional bass anglers made the trip to Alpena in late August to film the General Tire Summit Cup tournament on Hubbard Lake, Grand Lake, and Long Lake. Today, the Alpena Convention and Visitors Bureau and Northern Lights Arena hosted a championship viewing community celebration at the rink. After a technical issue with charter was resolved, the viewing got underway. There were also activities for the kids and a number of different door prizes given away.
The biggest thing that happened for us was recognition across the nation. So now the Outdoor Channel has a viewing audience of about 39.1 million people. So that's 39.1 potential people who have now been introduced to Alpena and what we have to offer.
Kevin Van Dam won the tournament, breaking the previous record for pounds of fish caught. All proceeds from the event will be split between the hosts. The Alpena CVB will use their portion to recruit more events like Major League Fishing to Alpena, and NLA will be using their portion to make improvements to the arena's water heating system. Racers from all over Michigan traveled to Alpena this weekend for the Thunder Bay Classic Sled Dog Race. The event is put on by the Mid-Union Sled Haulers, a nonprofit organization dedicated to dog sledding on an amateur basis. Today was the first day of the 2-day event consisting of dog sledding, weight pulling, ski juring, which is where someone's dog pulls them on skis, and the 100-yard dash. The event is being held at the Alpena Sportsman's Club. It's free and spectators are welcome.
Come on out and watch, talk to everybody. They love talking. They love, letting you see their dogs. It's just a lot of fun. The kids can come out. It's a blast.
The race has been going on since 2009. However, there hasn't been enough snow the past 2 years, so organizers say this year it's a big deal. Today there were around 35 racers. Sharp says it's great for the community as people from all over Michigan come stay in the hotels, dine at the local restaurants, and see all that Alpena has to offer. And for those who missed the action today, there will be more races beginning tomorrow at 10 a.m. And another event back in action today after not having enough snow the last couple years. The Alpena Optimists and Alpena Boosters held their 6th annual snowmobile fun run. Nearly 60 snowmobiles took off from Optimist Acres this morning around 9 o'clock. The snowmobilers traveled about 110 miles, going through Hillman, Atlanta, Hawks, and Millersburg, then ending back in Alpena for food and prizes.
Today we had enough snow. It was cold weather, but it was nice and sunny day. It was beautiful, just absolutely beautiful out there.
Kilwald says every year they hope for the event to get a little bigger. He thanks the community and says without all of the sponsors, this fun run, along with all of the great door prizes, wouldn't be possible. Prizes included helmets, coats, shirts, and much more. The cost per rider was $15, and all proceeds from the event go toward both the Boosters Club and the Optimist Club. Another chance to enjoy the sunshine today, the East Campus Youth and Family Center held a winter carnival. Community members could come participate in a wide variety of activities. Outside, there was broom balls, some extreme inner tubing, sleigh rides, and other wintry activities. Inside, people could enjoy food, games, and music. Guest speaker Joe Castaneda from Lake Ann Camp also gave an inspirational speech later in the day.
I just think it's great when communities get together and when we're helping families and encouraging each other and talking about important things like faith. I think it benefits the whole community.
This was the first year for the Winter Carnival that was free and open to the public, but after today's success, organizers are hoping to make it an annual event. Lots of local businesses and books at the Aplex today for the 2014 Business Expo and Book Sale. People were lined up waiting for the doors to open for this 15th annual event hosted by the Alpena News. 41 area businesses showcased the services and products they have to offer. There were guest speakers throughout the event that talked about their businesses and were available for any questions. All of the vendors also donated prizes that were given away.
It gives you the opportunity to talk to a lot of different businesses without having to drive from store to store to store to store. And it's all in one location. You can walk through, talk to the people from Home Depot about your home improvements that you might want to do, stop and see AT&T about wireless service. I mean, there's just such a diverse cross-section of the business community for people to visit.
In addition to the Business Expo was the Newspapers and Education book sale. The books were donated from all over the community. LOI Elementary School donated more than 2,000 books after holding a school-wide book drive. All proceeds help to cover the cost of newspapers to area schools. The Alpena News donates newspapers to about 13 schools on a daily basis. Coming up next on WBKB News at 11, 2 employees have been suspended from Ionia Correctional Facility after the escape of a convicted murderer. Plus, a group of lawmakers are proposing legislation that would require smartphones to have a kill switch. Find out how this would help you if you lose your phone. In state news, the Michigan Department of Corrections has suspended 2 employees from the Ionia Correctional Facility. 40-year-old Michael Elliott escaped from that prison located 45 miles from Lansing Sunday night. He was serving 5 life sentences for killing 4 people in 1993. Police in LaPorte County captured him Monday night and he remains jailed there. The DOC investigation is still ongoing, but yesterday they suspended a lieutenant and an officer who worked at that prison. Both men face multiple violations, including conduct unbecoming of an officer, failure to report, and disregard of duties. They are suspended indefinitely, a week of that without pay. The agency is on the hot seat after Elliott was able to evade several security measures to successfully break out. Investigators reviewed internal security videos showing how Elliott got away around 7 p.m. Sunday. Elliott went toward a sally port in the fence used for deliveries and prisoner transports off limit to inmates. Somehow he eluded guards, slipped on a white kitchen worker's jumpsuit he had stolen, and wiggled his way out. Motion sensors around the fence failed to go off. Yesterday, the Michigan Governor's Office announced the Attorney General's office will be doing their own investigation into the escape. Paperwork to extradite Elliott is underway. He will go to a maximum security facility in the UP. In your Money Watch, Janet Yellen will make her first appearance on Capitol Hill this week as head of the Federal Reserve. Yellen will give lawmakers her semi-annual testimony on the state of the economy Tuesday. Wall Street will be listening very closely to her comments to gauge how aggressively the Fed plans to scale back its stimulus program. California lawmakers are proposing legislation that would require smartphones to have a built-in kill switch that would make a stolen or lost device inoperable. The bill would require mobile devices sold in or shipped to California to have the anti-theft devices starting next year. And Google has raced ahead of ExxonMobil as the world's #2 most valuable company. And the internet giant is quickly gaining on #1 Apple. Google's market value is now nearly $390 billion compared to Apple's $457 billion. GasBuddy.com and AAA of Michigan put together state and local gas prices. Gas prices here in Alpena down a tad bit from last weekend. The highest price for gas is coming in at $3.23 at Shell. The lowest is at $3.22 at Admiral. And across the state, the highest gas price, $3.79 in Romulus, and the lowest price is coming in at $2.93 in Ypsilanti. There's still much more to come on WBKB News at 11. Jeff Kolb will be in with a look at sports. And how nice was it to see that sunshine today? I'll be right back to let you know if we get to enjoy more of it. Stay tuned for your weather forecast. Welcome back. It's time now to take a look at the weather. Today, the high in Alpena was 22 degrees. The low was -6 degrees. Normal high for this day, 28. Normal low, 11. So we were a little bit colder than the normal temperature. Record high for this day was 50 degrees. That was back in 1991. Record low, 34 below. That was back in 1934. Sunrise this morning was at 7:45 a.m. Sunset this evening around 5:52. And taking a look at the current conditions right now here in Alpena, -1. Not really any wind. It really feels like 8 degrees outside. And taking a look at our satellite and radar, you can see that most of that precipitation is staying to the south of us. It doesn't really look like anything will be moving into the area tonight. However, we will see a 30% chance of snow after 1 a.m., 6 degrees for the low tonight, and then calm winds throughout the night. Into tomorrow, it looks like a chance of snow. It's about a 50% chance of snow. That's after 1 p.m. 18 degrees for our high. Calm winds around 5 miles per hour. And then moving into tomorrow night, mostly cloudy. 1 below for our low. Northwest winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And taking a look at the week ahead in our extended weather forecast, we can see that it's going to be partly sunny a few days this week. Monday will hit a high of 14 degrees and a low of 3 degrees. Tuesday will drop down to a low of -4. Wednesday and Thursday, both a chance of light snow. We will hit a high of 34 on Thursday. That's one of the warmest temperatures we've seen in quite a while. And then Friday drop back to 15 degrees as our high and 11 degrees for our low. And now it's time for today's photo of the day. Today's photo was sent in by Jeanette Fredenberg of Osneek. She says she bought this squirrel-proof feeder for small birds like chickadees and finches and put it on a plant hanger on her deck. Well, this squirrel wanted to prove that it's not squirrel-proof. After moving the feeder to a higher pole, the squirrel has once again figured out how to reach it and shake it until he gets his fill of bird seeds. Well, Jeanette, like you said, it looks like you'll have to try to move it up even higher. What a smart little squirrel. Thank you for sending us this photo. If you have a photo you would like to send us, just email a photo along with a short description to news@WBKB11.com. In your Health Watch, CVS will pull all tobacco products off shelves in its 7,600 stores by October 1st. The pharmacy chain says it will lose an estimated $2 billion in sales. But the company's chief executive says he doesn't think selling cigarettes goes along with the mission of the healthcare company. Several health organizations are praising the move. So is President Obama, who himself struggled to stop smoking. The American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association have issued stroke guidelines for women for the very first time. Experts say women have unique risk factors, including hormones, birth control, and preeclampsia. They also say migraines, depression, and stress also seem to be more common in women. And a new study out of Great Britain finds the number of people taking insulin to treat their type 2 diabetes has tripled over the past 20 years. Researchers say 421,000 people there now use insulin to maintain their blood sugar levels. And in national news, there are changes ahead at the Justice Department. Attorney General Eric Holder says his agency is expanding its recognition of same-sex couples. CBS's Co-Im has more on the announcement from New York.
The nation's top law enforcer says the Justice Department will treat legally married same-sex couples the same as heterosexual couples.
On Monday, I will issue a new policy memorandum to give lawful same-sex marriages full and equal recognition to the greatest extent possible under the law.
Attorney General Eric Holder made the comments at a Human Rights Campaign gala in New York. Going forward, same-sex spouses cannot be compelled to testify against each other. They will be allowed to file for bankruptcy jointly. They'll get the same visitation privileges at federal prisons, and same-sex spouses of officers and firefighters killed in the line of duty will be eligible for federal benefits. Here at the gala, members and supporters of the gay community are applauding the announcement. Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney came with his longtime partner, Randy Florkey.
We have 3 children, and they shouldn't grow up in a country where their family is treated as less than anybody else is.
We will never rest in our efforts to safeguard the civil rights to which everyone in this country is entitled.
Last June, the Supreme Court struck down part of the Defense of Marriage Act, which barred the federal government from recognizing same-sex marriages. Since then, the Obama administration has made changes at the IRS, the Pentagon, and now the Justice Department. Co-Im for CBS News, New York.
Gay marriage is now legal in 17 states and the District of Columbia. Sports is coming up next, but first, Jeff Kolb is here with a preview of what's ahead. What do you have for us, Jeff?
Well, it was a big day for local wrestlers, Ashley. Highlights from Alpena and a look at area wrestlers that made regionals coming up. Plus, it was a grand day for ice fishing, and what better place to drop your line than Grand Lake? We'll take you there when we come back. Well, today was the granddaddy of them all. No, not the Rose Bowl. That was last month. I'm talking the Grand Lake Ice Fishing Derby. Close to 400 people took to the ice on Grand Lake in Presque Isle on a great day to fish. Lots of sun, not too much wind, and dropped in their lines hoping to catch fish worthy of prizes ranging from $20 to $100 in value. The competition was split into 3 categories. In the perch division, David Rosnowski won with a 14¼ inch fish. He was one of 19 people earning prizes for their perch. Jeremy Kowalski finished first for pikes with a 27½ inch fish, and Corey Latz won the walleye with a 21-inch fish. Moving to wrestling, Alpena's grapplers hit the mats at home today, and every Wildcat was looking to finish in the top 4 in their weight bracket to advance to regionals. Starting at 140, RJ Centella, 1 win right now from the finals. He'd get ahead 3-0, but end up losing 7-4, dropping him to the consolation bracket, where he finishes in 3rd and does end up advancing to regionals. Then Dakota Patterson at 152 looking to get back to regionals, but he drops his chance at the finals, then loses a tough 1-0 match here in consolations, dashing his postseason hopes. Felix Sushak also in jeopardy early of a consolation loss, but bounces back to win 11-4 and plays 4th, so he'll be at regionals as well. Finally, at the heavyweight division, a pair of Wildcats wrestling consolations for 1 shot at regionals, and it's Austin Hawks in the end with the late takedown here of Josh Lefebvre, becoming the 3rd Wildcat to qualify for more postseason wrestling. Looking at some other area regional qualifiers, Rogers City advancing 9 guys to next Saturday. Tommy Dogelheim, Justin Saley, Cameron Urban, Noah, and Jake Sobek making it through. Joining them are Jack Ryan, Austin Bober, Jared LaFleche, and Andrew Selke. RC is going to host regionals next weekend, and making the trip up to RC will be 5 grapplers from Whittemore: Kyle Leonard, Dakota Finlay, Austin Howard, Mike Arndt, and Ryan Prescott, all advancing for the Cards. Also 5 Mayo Thunderbolts making it through: Patrick Stevens, Tony Everly, Jordan Brooks, Scott Blamer, and Colton McGregor will be moving on. Most of us have seen a pink out at a high school sports event, right? But the color tonight in Rogers City was purple, as the Lady Hurons and the visiting Hillman Tigers hit the court with the late Rogers City maintenance man Tom Radka in the back of their minds. Both sides donning some purple in warm-ups. This one off to a very exciting start. Early first quarter, RC striking for the basket and one thanks to Courtney Strike. Game tied at 5. She led the Hurons with 13. Logan Fleming right behind her with 12. These two tying it at 7. Then Hillman taking the lead later in the half. Kaylin Torzinski dropping in the hook. 16-15 Tigers. Then Jensen Torzinski going in for 2 of her 28. She's now 2 points shy of 1,000 career points. But after that, Alexa Quain was in a Huron hurry. She puts RC up 24-22 at the break, and the Hurons make the lead hold up, winning 45-38. Meanwhile, out west, Alpena dropping a close one, 39-38 to the girls from TC West. Elizabeth Trelfa leading the Cats with 12 points, and Adriana Hatch and Jenna Talbot each adding 9 as Alpena falls to 4-10. Meanwhile, though, the ACC men doing some buzzer beating today. Will Gates scoring in the closing seconds off the dish from Kari Daly as the Jacks beat the Firebirds 75-73. Scott Hicks leading ACC in that one with 14 points. Kirtland, though, taking the women's game 80-38. Whitney Frazier scoring 14 to lead the Lady Jacks, while Courtney Holmes added 9. In other college hoops, Michigan visiting Iowa today. First half, Karis LeVert nailing the 3-ball here. He finished with 22. Wolverines down 6, but the Hawkeyes intent on avenging last month's loss in Michigan. Roy Devin Marble hitting one of his 6 threes on the afternoon. Iowa up 21-10. Nick Stauska is going to get the slam right here, but he just had 10 points today as the Wolverines lose their second game in the Big Ten this season, 85-67. In the NBA, Detroit was looking to make it 2 straight wins at home by beating Denver. First quarter, J.J. Hickson here putting down this nugget. Wow, Denver by 11. Later in the first, though, Pistons whip out the defense. Josh Smith ahead to Brandon Jennings for 2, and Detroit takes the lead. And in the fourth, the Pistons pull away. Andre Drummond. How about the smooth finish right here from the big fella as Detroit scores a season high in points, beating Denver 126-109. On the ice, the Red Wings becoming the last of the original 6 to play its 6,000th regular season game. Detroit in Tampa and feeling pretty hot early. Daniel Alfredson becoming the second all-time leading Swedish scorer in the NHL and putting the Wings up 1-0. Lightning knot it at 1. Thomas Jurko unknotting it with the sweet backhander. 2-1 Detroit, but then Tom Pyatt beats Jimmy Howard here, and the Lightning go on to score 3 unanswered and spoil history for Detroit 4-2. Finally, a look at the Olympic medal count as of now. Norway leading all countries with 4, Canada and the Netherlands, which aren't pictured here, then coming in with 3, and the United States in after that with 2, a gold from 20-year-old Sage Kotzenberg in the snowboard slopestyle today, and a bronze in the women's moguls freestyle skiing from Hannah Kearney. And after tonight's Red Wings loss, there's 10 Red Wings going to be heading over to Sochi, so we'll wish them well.
Fun. That'll be exciting to watch.
Only one, Jimmy Howard, the goalie, who was in tonight's game. He'll be representing the United States. Not sure yet if he's going to start, how often he's going to play, but exciting to see some of our local pro stars get some involvement over there in the Olympics.
All right, well, thanks, Jeff. Coming up next on WBKB News at 11, a celebration for one beloved fast food employee who's turning 100 years old. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, a man in Needham, Massachusetts, 100 years old and still working at McDonald's. Reporter Ken McLeod has the story of this man loved by many.
Happy birthday, darling.
Thank you.
As Morris Miller nailed down his regular spot at this Needham McDonald's this morning, one day shy of his 100th birthday, he did not take a stroll down memory lane.
At my age, we don't remember anything.
But this party wasn't just birthday stuff. It was accolades for a quarter century of bringing his infectious personality to work here, beginning when he was a young pup of 75.
I did whatever they wanted me to do.
As he got into his 90s, though, his employer thought better of the heavy lifting. But for the last several years, the boss here has paid Morris simply to show up for a few hours, 3 days a week, to enjoy a free breakfast and do what he does best, chit-chat with customers.
He's funny, okay? He makes us all laugh.
Morris, it seems, is the ultimate ambassador at this Mickey D's, and the owner has no desire to mess with that.
This is what keeps all the customers coming back, his smile and his determination to keep on going.
Happy birthday to you. We learned today he doesn't like cake.
You can have it all.
And that he drinks a lot more coffee since he gave up cigars.
Today I can say anything.
Indeed, the restaurant is offering special deals in his honor, but Morris is the difference maker.
Have a good day.
He's an ambassador for the brand.
We're having one hell of a time.
And for that, he received props, proclamations, and a nice bonus check. But it's the camaraderie he lives for.
I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
I'll keep coming as long as I can move.
Well, what a champ, sticking with McDonald's until the age of 100.
Going strong, and for my fellow New Englander here from Rhode Island, we have 2 other New Englanders on staff here. Definitely love the Needham shout-out.
Have you ever seen him?
I've never seen him, but I'd love to go visit him.
He seems like such a happy man.
I want to go ask him what his favorite, value menu meal is. That's what I want to know. He has more experience than anyone else, right? He doesn't like, well, that's weird.
That is weird.
But
it's all right.
Very cool, so good for him. And remember, you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on more news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
Or add us on Facebook at facebook.com/WBKBTV.
That will do it for tonight's show. Tune back in tomorrow night at 11. I'll have the latest in local news, and Jeff Kolb will have all your updates from the world of sports. Have a great night.